What do you do when you're not sure? That's the topic of my sermon today. You look for God's direction, and you can't find it. Last year, when President Kennedy was assassinated, who among us did not experience the most profound disorientation, despair? What now? Which way? What do I say to my kids? What do I tell myself? It was a time of people sitting together, bound together by a common feeling of hopelessness. But think of that. Your bond with your fellow beings was your despair. It was a public experience, shared by everyone in our society. It was awful, but we were in it together. How much worse is it then for the lone man, the lone woman stricken by a private calamity? No one knows I'm sick. No one knows I've lost my last real friend. No one knows I've done something wrong. Imagine the isolation. You see the world as through a window. On one side of the glass, happy, untroubled people. On the other side, you. Something has happened, and you have to carry it, and it's incommunicable. For those so afflicted, only God knows their pain, their secret, the secret of their alienating sorrow. And when such a person, as they must, howls to the sky, to God, help me. What if no answer comes? Silence. There are those of you in church today who know exactly the crisis of faith I describe. I want to say to you, doubt can be a bond as powerful and sustaining as certainty. When you are lost, you are not alone. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Come in. Have you a moment, Sister Aloysius?
Come in, Sister James.
I was wondering if I might know what happened to William London.
Sent him home.
So he's still bleeding?
Yes.
His nose just let loose during the Pledge of Allegiance.
Was it spontaneous?
What else would it be?
Self-induced.
You mean, you think he intentionally gave himself a nosebleed?
Exactly.
No.
You are an innocent person, Sister James. William London is a fidgety boy. He would do anything to escape his chair. He'd set his foot on fire for half a day out of school. Ordinarily, I would assign my more experienced sisters to the 8th grade, but I'm working within constraints. Are you in control of your class?
Yes, I think so.
Usually more kids are sent down to you.
I try to take care of things myself.
That can be an error. You are answerable to me. I to the Monsignor, he to the Bishop, and so on up to the Holy Father. There is a chain of discipline. Make use of it.
Yes, Sister.
When William London gets a nosebleed, be skeptical. Don't let a little blood fuddle your judgment. God gave you a brain and a heart. The heart is warm, but your wits must be cold. Liars should be frightened to lie to you. They should be uncomfortable in your presence. I doubt they are.
I don't know. I've never thought of it.
And if things occur in your classroom that you sense require understanding, that you don't understand, bring them to me.
Yes, Sister.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm the principal of this school.
So, should I go? Is something the matter?
No. Why? Is something the matter?
No, I don't think so.
Then nothing's the matter. Where's your class?
The girls are in music.
And the boys?
They're in the rectory.
With Father Flynn.
Yes, he's giving them a talk.
What do you think about Father Flynn?
Well, he's an excellent man. What a speaker.
His sermon this past Sunday certainly was poetic. What was he talking about?
Excuse me?
This past Sunday. What was he talking about?
Doubt. He was talking about doubt.
Why?
What?
Sermons come from somewhere. Is Father Flynn in doubt? Is he concerned someone else is in doubt?
I suppose you would need to ask him.
No, it would not be appropriate. He is my superior. If Father Flynn were troubled, he should confess it to a fellow priest or the Monsignor. We do not share intimate information with priests. How is your class? How is Donald Muller? Is he being accepted?
He has no friends.
Might be a lot to ask after only 2 months. Has anyone hit him?
No.
Someone will. And when it happens, bring them to me.
I'm not so sure anyone will.
On one side of our altar, we have a statue of St. Patrick. On the other, St. Anthony. This parish caters to Irish and Italian families. Someone will hit Donald Muller.
He has a protector.
Who?
Father Flynn.
What?
He's taken an interest in him ever since he went on the altar board.
So it's happened.
What? I'm not saying that. I'm not even at all certain what you mean.
Yes, you are.
But it's so unsettling to look at things and people with suspicion. It makes me feel as if I'm less close to God.
When you take a step to address wrongdoings, you are taking a step away from God, but in His service. Dealing with such matters is hard and thankless work.
I don't have any evidence. I'm not at all certain that anything has happened.
We can't wait for that.
But what if it's nothing?
Then it's nothing. I wouldn't mind being wrong, but I doubt I am. What have you seen?
He took Donald to the rectory.
What for?
A talk.
Alone?
Yes.
All the children. Donald Muller, I suppose it makes sense.
How does it make sense?
He's isolated. The sheep lagging behind is the one the wolf goes after. Our first black student. I thought there'd be fighting, a parent or two to deal with. I should have foreseen this possibility.
But maybe it is nothing.
Then why do you look like you've seen the devil?
It was the way the boy acted when he came back to class. He was scared and there was alcohol on his breath.
I'm going to have Father Flynn into my office. Try to force it. You will be there.
What? No, I'm not equipped. I couldn't possibly be present at the time we were spoken
And
of.
would you rather leave the boy to be exploited? Don't think this will be the only story. If you close your eyes now, you will be party to all that comes after.
We could ask him.
Who?
The boy, Donald Muller.
And if he points the finger, how do you think that will be received in this community? A black child. I'm going to have Father Flynn into my office on an unrelated matter. You will be there. Come in.
Good morning, Sister Aloysius. How are you today?
Morning, Father Flynn. Very well. Good of you to come by.
Are we ready for the meeting?
Just short, Sister James. Did you hear the wind last night?
I certainly did. Can you imagine what it must have been like in the frontier days? When a man sat alone in the wild by a fire and listened to a sound like that? Imagine the loneliness, the immense darkness pressing in. How frightening it must have been.
I suppose if one lacked faith in God's protection, it would be.
Good morning, Father Flynn. Good morning, Sister Aloysius. I'm sorry I was delayed.
Never mind. Please, come in. Have a seat. Well, thank you, Father, for making time for us. We are at our wits' end.
Of course, I think it's an excellent idea to rethink the Christmas pageant. Last year's effort was a little woebegone.
We must be careful how Donald Muller is used in the pageant.
What about Donald Muller?
We must be careful that we neither hide Donald Muller nor push him forward.
Because of the color of his skin.
That's right.
Why?
Come, Father, you're being disingenuous.
I think he should be treated like every other boy.
You yourself singled the boy out for special attention. You held a private meeting with him in the rectory. A week ago?
Yes,
What are we talking about?
Donald Muller.
The boy acted strangely when he returned to class.
You did?
Can you tell us why?
Did you want to talk about the pageant? Is that why I'm here, or is this what
This.
you wanted? Well, sister, if I had judged my conversation with Donald Muller to be of concern to you, I would have sat you down and talked to you about it. But I did not judge it to be of concern to you.
Perhaps you are mistaken in your understanding of what concerns me. The boy is in my school. His well-being is my responsibility.
Well-being is not an issue.
What happened in the rectory? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? You're controlling the expression on your face right now, aren't you?
My face. Look, sister, you said you wanted to talk about the pageant. That's why I'm here. Am I to understand that you brought me into your office to confront me in some way? It's outrageous. I'm not answerable to you. What exactly are you accusing me of?
I'm not accusing you of anything, Father. I'm asking you to tell me what happened in the rectory.
I do not wish to continue this conversation at all further, sister.
There was alcohol on his breath when he returned from his meeting with you.
Alcohol.
I did smell it on his breath.
Well,
You should have let this alone.
not possible.
Donald Muller served as altar boy last Tuesday morning. After Mass, Mr. McGinn caught him in the sacristy, drinking altar wine. When I found out, I sent for him. There were tears, sister. He begged not to be removed from the altar boys. I took pity on him. I told him if no one else found out, I would let him stay on.
Well, that explains everything. Thanks be to God. It was all a mistake.
But now that the boy's secret is out, I'm going to have to remove him from the altar boys, which I think is a shame. That's what I was trying to avoid.
You were trying to protect the boy.
That's right.
The boy drank altar wine. You can no longer continue as an altar boy.
Of course. You're right. I'm just not the disciplinarian you are, sister.
He must be held to the same standard as all the others.
Of course. Now, did you want to talk about the pageant, or was that just...
This was all.
Good. Then I'll be going.
Well, he cleared it all up.
Did you believe him?
Of course.
Not that it's easier to believe him.
Well, I'm convinced.
You're not. You just want things to be resolved so you can have your simplicity back.
I want no further part of this.
I will take him down, with or without your help. This is Sister Aloysius Bouvier from St. Nicholas. Is this Mrs. Muller? Yes, I would like to talk to you about your son, Donald. I would like you and your husband to come in for a talk. When would be convenient? Mrs. Muller? Yes. Please, come in. Have a seat. Is your husband coming?
He couldn't get off work.
Of course. I see it was a lot to ask.
How's Donald doing? He was upset about getting taken off the altar boys.
Did he explain why?
He said he was caught drinking wine.
What is the reason?
Well, that seems fair, but he is a good boy, sister, and he understands his opportunity here. I think the whole thing was just a bit much.
What do you mean, the whole thing?
He's the only student of color here. He's the first in his school. That'd be a lot for a boy.
I suppose it is. How is he at home?
His father beat the hell out of him over that
He
wine.
shouldn't do that.
You don't tell us what to do. You just stand back. He didn't want Donald to come here.
Why?
He thought he'd have a lot of trouble with the other boys. But that hasn't really happened as far as I can make out.
Good.
That priest, Father Flynn, he's been watching out for him.
Yes. Have you met Father Flynn?
No, not exactly. I've seen him on the altar, but I haven't met him face to face. No, I've just heard from Donald.
What does he say?
He looks up to the man. The man gives him his time, which is what the boy needs. He needs that.
Mrs. Muller, we may have a problem.
Well, I thought there must have been a reason for you to ask me to come in. I just want to say, though, it's just until June.
Excuse me?
Whatever the problem is, Donald just has to make it here until June.
Right.
If Donald can graduate from here, he'll have a better chance of getting into a good high school, which will mean an opportunity at college. I believe he has intelligence and he wants it too.
I don't see anything at this time standing in the way of him graduating with his class.
Well, that's all I care about. Anything else is all right with me.
Doubt that.
Timing.
I'm concerned about the relationship between Father Flynn and your son.
Concern? What do you mean concern?
It may not be right.
Well, there's something wrong with everyone, isn't there? Who is not to be forgiven.
I'm concerned, to be frank, that Father Flynn may have made advances on your son.
May have made?
I can't be certain.
No evidence?
No.
Then maybe there's nothing to
I
it.
think there's something to it.
Well, I would prefer not to think of it that way if you don't mind.
I can understand that this might be difficult to hear, but I think Father Flynn gave Donald the altar wine.
Why would he do that?
Has he been acting strangely?
No.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Himself.
All right.
Look, sister, I don't want any trouble, and I feel like you're on the mark somewhere.
I'm not sure you completely understand.
I think I understand the type of thing you're talking about, but I don't want to get into it.
What's that?
Not to disagree with you, but if we were to be talking about something floating around between this priest and my son, it's not my son's fault.
I'm not saying it is.
He's just a boy.
I know.
12 years old. If anyone should be taking the blame for anything, it should be this man, not the boy.
I agree with you completely.
You agree with me, but yet I'm sitting in your office talking about my son. Why isn't the priest in the principal's office?
You're here because I'm concerned about Donald's well-being.
You think I'm not?
Of course you are.
You honestly think that this priest gave Donald the wine to drink?
Yes, I do.
Then how come my son got kicked off of the altar boys? If it was a man that gave it to
The
him,
boy got caught. The man didn't. Why did the priest get kicked off the priesthood? He's a grown man, educated. He knows what's at stake. It's not easy to pin someone like that down. So you give my son the whole blame? No problem letting my son get blamed and punished. It's easy. You know why that is? That's because that's the way it always is. You're just finding out about it, but that's the way it always is, and it's been, sister. You're not going to go against a man in a robe and win. He's got the position. He's got your son. Let him have him then. What? It's just until June. Do you know what you're saying? I know more about it than you. I believe Father Flynn is creating or has already brought about an improper relationship with your son. How can you know something for sure like that when you don't? Please, sister, you have some kind of righteous cause with this priest, and now you want to drag my boy into it? My son does not need additional difficulties. Let him take the good and leave with the rest when he leaves here in June. He knows how to do that. I taught him how to do that. What kind of a mother are you? Excuse you, sister, but you don't know enough about life to say. I know enough. You know the rules, maybe, but that doesn't cover it. I know, but I won't accept. You accept what you have to when you work with it. That's the truth I know. You're in here, in this room. This man is in my school. Well, he has to be somewhere. And maybe he's doing some good. Did you ever think of that? After the boys. Maybe some of those boys want to get caught. And maybe what you don't know is that Donald is that way. That's why his father beat him, not the wine. He beat Donald for being what he is. What are you telling me? I'm his mother. I'm talking about his nature now, not anything he's done. But you can't hold a child responsible for what God gave them to be. Listen to me with care, Mrs. Muller. It's hopeless to discuss a child's possible inclination. I'm having difficulty enough addressing a man's deeds. This isn't about what the boy may be. It's about what the man is. It's about the man. But there is the boy's nature. Let's leave that out of it. Forget it then. You're the one forcing people to say these things out loud. Things are in the air, you leave them alone. That's what I know. My son came here because they were going to kill him in a public school. So we were lucky enough to get him in here for his last year. Good. His father doesn't like him. He comes here, the kids don't like him. One man is good to him. Puts out his hand to my boy. Does the priest have his reasons? Yes. Everyone has their reasons. You have your reasons. But do I ask this man why he's against my son? No. I don't care why. My son needs a man to care for him and to see him through to where he wants to go. And thank God, this educated man with some kindness wants to do just that. This will not do. It's just until June. Sometimes things aren't black and white. And sometimes they are. I will throw your son out of this school. Make no mistake. But why would you do that if nothing started with him? I will stop this, whatever way I must. You'd hurt my son and get your way. It won't end with your son. There will be others if there aren't already. Throw the priest out then. I'm trying to do just that. Well, what do you want from me? Nothing. As it turns out, I was hoping you might know something that would help me, but it seems you don't. Please leave my son out of this. My husband will kill that child over something like this. I'll try. You might think you're doing good, but this world is a hard place. I don't know if you and I are on the same side, but I will be with my son and those who are good with my son. It'd be nice to see you there.
May I come in?
You require a third party.
What was Donald's mother doing here?
We were having a chat.
About what?
A third party is truly required.
No,
Father.
sister, no third party. You and I are due for a talk. You need to stop this campaign against you.
You can stop it at any time.
How?
Confess and resign.
You are attempting to destroy my reputation. But the result of all of this is going to be your removal, not mine. You know what I haven't understood through all of this? Why do you suspect me? What have I done?
You gave the boy wine to drink and let him take the blame.
That's completely untrue.
I'm not satisfied.
Well, if you're not satisfied, ask the boy.
No, he'd protect you.
Why would he do that?
Because you seduced him.
You are insane. You've got it in your head that I've corrupted this child and nothing I say is going to change that.
That's right.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, sister. This has nothing to do with the wine. Not really. You had a fundamental mistrust of me since before this incident.
That's true.
So you admit it.
Certainly.
Why?
On the first day of the school year, I saw you touch William London's wrist, and I saw him pull away.
That's all?
That was all.
But that's nothing.
What are you writing?
You leave me no choice. I'm writing down what you say. I tend to get too flustered to remember the details of an upsetting conversation, and this might be important when I talk to the Monsignor and explain why you have to be removed as the principal of this school.
This morning, before I spoke with Mrs. Muller, I took the precaution of calling the last parish at which you were assigned.
What did he say?
Who?
Pastor.
I did not speak with the pastor. I spoke with one of the nuns.
You should have spoken to a pastor.
I spoke to a nun.
You have no right to go rummaging through my past.
This is your
sister.
third parish in the last 5 years.
I am a good priest, and there is nothing in my record to suggest
You
otherwise.
will go after another child and another until you are stopped.
What nun did you speak to?
I won't say.
I have not touched a child.
You have,
You haven't the slightest proof of anything.
but I have my certainty. And armed with that, I will go to your last parish and the one before that if necessary. I will find a parent, Father Flynn. Trust me, I will. One who probably doesn't know that you're still working with children. And once I do that, you will be exposed. And you may even be attacked, metaphorically or otherwise.
You have no right to act on your own. You are a member of a religious order. You have taken vows, obedience being one of them. You answer to us. You have no right to step outside this church.
I will step outside the church if that is what needs to be done, though the door should be shut behind me. I will do what needs to be done, Father Flynn. If that means I am damned to hell, you should know that. Or you will mistake me. Now, did you give Donald Muller wine to drink?
Whatever I have done, sister, I have left in the healing hands of my confessor.
Did you give Donald Muller wine to drink?
No.
You lied. Very well then. If you won't leave my office, I will. And once I go, I will not stop.
Wait.
You will request a transfer from this parish, and you'll take a leave of absence until it is granted.
And do what for the love of God when life is here?
Don't!
Please. I can't say everything. Do you understand? There are things that I can't say. Even if you can't imagine the explanation, sister, there are circumstances beyond your knowledge. Even if you feel certainty, that's an emotion, not a fact. In the spirit of charity, I appeal to you. On behalf of my life's work, you have to behave responsibly. I put myself in your hands.
I don't want you.
You would leave me with nothing.
That's not true. It's Donald Muller who had nothing, and you took full advantage of that.
I can fight you.
You will lose.
You can't know that.
I know.
Where's your compassion?
Nowhere you can get at it. Stay here. Compose yourself. Use the phone if you'd like. Good day, Father. I have no sympathy for you, because I know you are invulnerable to true regret.
Yes. Hello, this is Father Flynn of St. Nicholas Parish. I need to make an appointment to see the bishop.
Father Flynn is gone.
Yes. Where? St. Jerome's.
Donald Muller is heartbroken.
Can be helped. Just until June.
Did you ever prove it?
What?
Did you ever prove that he interfered with Donald Muller?
Ever prove it to whom?
Anyone but yourself?
No.
But you were sure.
Yes.
What did you say to make him go?
called a nun at his previous parish. Found out his prior history of infringements.
So you did prove it.
I lied.
You lied?
Yes, but the lie wouldn't have worked if he had no such history. His resignation was his confession. He was what I thought he was, and he's gone.
I can't believe you lied.
In pursuit of wrongdoings, one takes a step away from God. Of course there's a price. Oh, Sister James.
What is it, sister?
I have doubts. I have such doubts.